movie theater shuts its doors for good.
Regal Cinemas is closing all its locations.
Filed for bankruptcy protect, citing poor attendance, streaming.
Whether the financial strain survived.
Closing more than
2,000 movie theaters.
Shutting down.
Closing for what?
Closing.
Closing today.
Struggling to bring in audiences ever since.
This is a 35mm film reel, and for most of history, editing has looked like this.
We lace up the picture, and then I'm going to go through the sound head.
As the top of the clapperboard touches the bottom, the editor makes a mark on the picture.
No flashy transitions, no motion graphics, just scissors, glue, and a whole lot of patience. Now that you've got that in mind, let's contrast that picture with today.
Many of the cuts are unmotivated.
This movie is directed, edited, and shot to
You don't win a Razzie without a lot of help from a lot of people.
Oh no.
Oh God!
If you think that is a masterpiece, what is Citizen Kane?
It's great.
So here's the question that's on my mind then. Has all of this accessibility made editing better, or are we just becoming more like cavemen with power tools?
They were inside. We could not save them.
In 1872, a guy by the name of Leland Stanford made a bet with a friend that all 4 of a horse's hooves leave the ground when it's running. So he hired a photographer by the name of Edward Muybridge to prove it. Muybridge set up 24 cameras, and they were set off by the horse's movement over a bunch of tripwires. Turns out, yeah, they do. What he really did though was not just settling a bet. Our friend Eddie ended up capturing one of the very first moving images. Fast forward a few decades and, well, the moving image industry explodes.
Blockbuster.
Blockbusters.
Blockbuster. Blockbuster. Titanic has sailed beyond the $2 billion mark.
When you're ready, Sammy.
For most of the 20th century, if you wanted to cut film, you needed a splicer, glue, and hands that didn't shake. This was all up until the late 70s, early 80s, and the arrival of digital video editing.
I'd like to show you the system right now. Grab the first element, drag it to this window, the record window.
Suddenly, editing wasn't just easier, it was limitless. At your fingertips was complete control. You could add any song, music, text, graphic, or sound effect that you like.
Let's take a look at the result.
Let's go! Okay, I count!
No longer was an editor just the person assembling a story and making a few cuts.
Yeah, so I'll cut that shot up and then move it up, yeah?
Yeah.
The editor arguably became like the main storyteller.
Jason has always said that he looks at editing as the final rewrite.
Even within scenes, you can get in with a precise scalpel and adjust even the most subtle of intentions.
The end result is in this cross-cutting between these 2 events. It was rewriting the climax of the picture, which gave it a much more dramatic and emotional release for the audience.
Movie trailers are arguably the birthplace of the flashy editing that's become so common today. The trailers often had a kind of excitement and a velocity that excited younger viewers in a way that movies could only really hope to. Fast cuts, flashy effects, and aggressive pacing found its way from movie trailers into music videos, movies, TV, and eventually into our good friends YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Imagine, for example, that you're a caveman that's just been transported into a 21st century chef's kitchen. You see a blender, a microwave, a gas stove, and an electric hand mixer. You've never seen any of this before, and therefore, instead of making a meal, you just start playing with all of the tools. This to me is a lot of modern editing. Editors have every tool available, but most people aren't asking, do I actually need this? And in a world powered by the chaos of the internet, this isn't really a recipe for success. overstimulating content might not just be bad storytelling. It might actually be damaging our ability to even focus. In 2011, a study found that kids who watched SpongeBob for 9 minutes performed significantly worse on attention and memory tests than kids who just spent time drawing. Another study found that weak narratives, fast-paced editing, and complex elements makes it harder for children to extract and generalize information from videos. Adults also suffer from reduced memory core with overly fast-paced edits. I mean, just think about your last YouTube Shorts binge-watching session. Remember much? How about just one little thing?
Oh, what are we doing?
Go ahead, I will wait. It seems that research in this area is pretty convincing. Well-paced, story-oriented content sticks in our memories for way longer, and it allows us to engage on a much deeper level emotionally. Our brains, regardless of age, have something that researchers call attentional inertia. Essentially, once we're engaged and following a storyline, it's easier for us to stay focused. But rapid edits and storylines seem to stimulate our need for novelty and change. In practical terms, if a video is constantly resetting our attention with cuts and new elements, graphics, visuals, whatever, we might never sink into that deeper focus state, and we remain in this sort of shallow attention mode. Over time, some scientists think that repeated exposure to very fast media could condition viewers, especially younger ones, to become less tolerant of slower, more contemplative content. Well, what now? What should we do if we even want to do anything about this? Honestly, I don't think there's one hard and fast rule to this, but the problem is clear, and that's that today, style is replacing substance. Real and compelling stories with heart and deep attentiveness to the craft of storytelling is not even being considered, never mind acted on, when editors are learning how to edit. The best editors don't just know how to use the tools, they know why they're using them.
I truly appreciate the recognition for this because, God, if you saw that footage, I saved this film in the edit, trust me.
Learning how to edit from YouTube has its downsides. There are people out there that are teaching great storytelling, but in my opinion, for the most part, YouTube is filled with a lot of how, but not a lot of why. And what people need to understand is the why. That's how you learn to use your how effectively.
We can take these beats, which are basically the beats of your outline, and if the words "and then" belong between those beats, you're f***ed. What should happen between every beat that you've written down is either the word "therefore" or "but." Okay, this happened, but then this happens, and that affects this, and that does to that, and that's why you get a show that feels like, okay, this to that, to this to that, but this, here's the complication, to that.
There's so much out there, and there's so many different perspectives on how to tell a good story, but I would say that step one is stop focusing so much on editing and start focusing more on story. Watch a few great films and study how they build tension. Try to notice points where the movies are losing you, and then think about why that's happening. And for content creators, our focus should be more on meaningful content and not just how can I hook and engage people as much as possible without giving them anything of any real substance. Trust me, this will make a world of difference for you as an editor. Use your music as a tool, use your sound effects as a tool, and please do not use the 1500 Epic Zoom Transitions pack you illegally downloaded. They are garbage. Garbage. This is just my opinion here, but as video editors, we need to start taking less of our cues from Iman Gaji or whoever the next guy in line is, and take more of our cues from more traditional spaces. Ultimately, for me, the goal of editing isn't just to manipulate someone into watching, right? The goal is to make something worth remembering. Video editing is an art, and like any art, it deserves respect. It's really the same as a paintbrush, a piano, or a chisel. And in the right hands, it can be breathtaking. So let's treat it that way.